Hello, Hintze. This is Florencio. What dispositions do I possess that make me a successful teacher? I think my ability to love kids is going to be the first and foremost portion. I see them as not only my students, but also the people that I have to report to on a daily basis. We have conversations. We're very transparent. In the morning, they know what's going to happen throughout the day. They have announcements over the intercom, but they also have announcements in the classroom, which we talk about testing. We talk about recess, if anything, and weather. If it's snowing, a lot of the times to send our kids outside, but I tell them if you want to stay inside today, Mr. Lozelle will be with you. What dispositions do you have need to make in the classroom as a first-year teacher? So the dispositions for the classroom the first year, my first year was a little difficult because I wasn't used to having that much kids. I had about 120 kids I had to memorize their names. It was all 5th and 6th grade, so it was quite a bit of kids, and I think it was probably 240 for the full year because 120 one semester and 120 the next semester. The way it's set up, I had 2 5th grade classes and 2 6th grade classes, and the next semester I had 2 6th grade and 2 5th grade. Anyways, the hardest part was learning all their names. Within 3 weeks, I believe I had all of them down, and I still remember them. It's kind of hard, but I know them. I need to work on my lesson plans, because lesson plans for me is my weakness. I need to make that my strength. My lesson plans don't always get written down, but they're always in my mind, and they're we have a year-long lesson plan that has every week planned out. So every day at a glance and the week at a glance. So we're looking at those. I need to make that my strength as we go over those. I've fallen behind one time with my phonics and one time now with my math. I am ahead on phonics right now, but I'm catching up on math. I feel really bad. I plan to do this in the classroom, and I plan to implement my lesson plans and also diverse. We use IXL to differentiate teaching. After a good lesson, hopefully, what I do is I tell them to get their computers. We all have Chromebooks, so we all get our computers out and we go to IXL and we practice it. Some kids get it done by themselves, and I have small groups that work with me in the back that we work on an individual basis, and we keep up with them. We give them what they need, and if they have questions and don't understand something, we definitely talk and discuss. So cultures, genders, and learning differences to build strong relationships with students and families. Last year, I was able to communicate with some of the Mexican kids that their parents don't speak Spanish, and so I did a lot of the interpretation for the parent-teacher conferences, as well as the kids that were disciplined, and I heard some things that I didn't want to share with their parents, but I had to translate them for the principal. So I know a lot of these kids. I grew up with their parents. I know them. We were kids together in the same hallways, and it's funny because a lot of their kids act like their parents, and I have to be the mature adult now. So that is hard for me sometimes. Genders, cultures. One thing about genders is I had a student last year. She would come in after school before the bus came because I was right by the bus, and she'd get a piece of candy and talk to me about her day. One thing she mentioned one time is that she was crying, and she said, "Mr. Lozoya, you can't hate me or stop talking to me because of this." And I said, "I wouldn't. Depending on what you did, I probably would not stop talking to you or respecting you." She said, "Mr. Lozoya, I'm a lesbian." And she's an 8th grader, and I thought it was weird, and I just looked at her, and we kept talking, and I asked her what the bad thing was that she was going to tell me, and she said she was lesbian, and I said, "Okay, that doesn't change how I feel about you, and I think you're a great kid." She cried. She opened up, and she had a moment with me, and I didn't hold her. I wanted to hold her, but I know it's awkward. You can't hug a kid. Anyways, we had a good conversation. To this day, we still talk, and I don't know if she's still lesbian or not. Doesn't matter to me. She's a great student. She's a great person, and she's a great human. I love being around my students. How do you anticipate feedback? I take feedback. It hurts sometimes because I'm doing my very best. And when I'm told by my supervisors or my principal that it's not good enough, I felt bad. And I told her, I'm sorry that I am deficient in this area, but I'm going to work on it. As far as deficiencies, right now I have a deficiency of lesson plans, writing them down. I have a plan to write down my lesson plans and be able to implement them on a daily basis. I know that I'm not perfect. I'm not going to be the perfect teacher, but I will do my best to fix the areas that need to fix and when addressed. Thank you for your time.